And welcome back here to Bucyrus High School. We have our final segment tonight on the Coaches Show, the Coaches Corner West. We have with us Coach John Supon of Bucyrus Tennis Program. We want to remind you, first of all, that we're brought to you in part by Tabitha Smith and Associates at Waycraft Industries, Rod Steiger and Associates at Pizza Hut, Bucyrus, and Galleon, the pizza provider for the Coaches Corner West and also for the East Show. And he's been doing this for like the last 30 years, so we appreciate Rod Steiger. And the Burkhart family at Burkhart Farm Sales, your Case IH dealer on the Manette, New Winchester Road. So, Coach, you're probably like everybody else, chomping at the bit to get outside, but the weather's really not cooperating too well.
Yeah, and Dan, we got outside twice last week. Wednesday and Thursday, kind of got our, legs underneath us a little bit. Of course, it's hard to establish any kind of momentum as far as practices go in the spring. But, as someone who's been in it for a while now, we're used to that. We tried to explain to the kids that we might get to practice 4 or 5 days in a row, and then we might not get to practice for 4 or 5 days in a row. So, they have to be ready when we are able to get outside and use that time to the best of our ability. And even though sometimes we get outside when the weather's not exactly the best, but we still might get out maybe if it's only 45 minutes to an hour just to hit a few balls and get outside a little bit. We try to. And when the weather's really nice, we get some good sunny weather, we stay a little bit longer and make up for that time. But tennis is a sport you cannot replicate inside a gymnasium.
And they say there's a limited amount of things you can do.
Yeah,
with it, right?
When I first started coaching, I tried the gym thing, and the ball just doesn't react off a gym floor like it does off a tennis court, and it's really kind of dangerous. The ball really skips and it's real quick, so you can do a little conditioning drills, but by the spring, a lot of our kids are 2 or 3 sport athletes. They're just ready to play tennis, and then you can hit a ball against the wall, but after about 10 or 15 minutes of that, that gets kind of being a boring thing for them. So, it's one of them deals where if we can't get outside on the courts, we pretty much just shut down and wait for a better day. And there's nothing we can do about it. A lot of schools in the area are in the same position we are. There's very few schools that have indoor facilities or have access to indoor facilities. So we try to make the best of it, and that's what we're going to do again this year. We'll when we get outside, we will, and we'll just use that mindset.
Yeah, and even though the weather's a little bit iffy, wind's probably, other than moisture, wind's probably your biggest thing. If even if it's a cold day, a calm day, you can still play tennis.
Oh yeah, and the wind is a big difference. Exactly. In the spring, of course, you get a lot of wind, as all the other coaches will attest to, and the problem with that is you get a 35-degree day or something, and whereas the temperature, you could play in it, but if you have a 15, 20-mile-an-hour wind, that drops the wind chill down below 30 degrees, and that's kind of the cutoff point for us. And if the kids aren't enjoying it, why play? And,
right.
It's got to be an enjoyable experience. I mean, for them. And if they're just out there shivering not be able to adapt to it, there's no use in going out and playing. And but the wind, and especially our courts are not very well protected from the wind. We have a lot. We don't really have a wind barrier out there, so we get the brunt of the wind a lot out there. And so, wind is a huge factor in the spring. And in fall, when I coached the girls' tennis program in the fall, I used to tell them how much lucky they had it, because they played most of their matches in great weather, August, September. And maybe towards the end of the season they got a little bit bad days, but nothing compared to what we do in the spring.
Sure, yeah. And the fact that you don't have tennis as a league sport, it kind of heightens the tournaments that you play in as being very important for you.
Well, our tournaments, we host 2 tournaments here, and when I took over the tennis program, we didn't host a tournament, and I thought our facilities were one of the best in the area, and I felt it was a shame we didn't. And so I went to then athletic director Tom Jeffrey and suggested we start a girls tournament in the spring, in the fall, and we did start the Sam Sabak tournament in honor of the late great tennis player and teacher Sam Sabak. And then a few years later, we followed through with the Jim Grandy in the spring. And so those are a big deal to us. But and also, you know, our sectional tournament at Shelby is a big deal. But, you know, we are, and I don't think a lot of people would know this, that we are the smallest school playing tennis in our sectional. And that's not very often that happens, you know, I think with Bucyrus and so, you know, and we play, not being in a league, we also play a totally non-league schedule, so we play a lot of larger schools. We played Shelby this year, we played Tippin Columbian, we played Kenton, Madison Comprehensive. So we really, you know, Upper Sandusky, of course, Gallion,
River Valley,
Pleasant. I mean, we play all the schools that are larger than us. The schools that were comparable in size just don't have tennis anymore, like Crestline and St. Peter's. So, so again, we have to step up and play, you know, up in competition and against larger schools. So, and that's okay. You know, we accept that because, you know, like I tell the kids, as long as we give 100% effort and do the best we can, that's all I ask.
It's probably a little more difficult scheduling in the fact that most of these other teams are playing league schedules, and then you have to kind of fit in around.
Yeah,
those.
we have to take the leftover days for them, and we understand that. We maybe lose a match or two at the end because they have to make up a league match or something,
Sure.
you know, because they got canceled or something, and that's all part of the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, and we have to travel a little bit sometimes to get matches. Like we got to go to Kenton this year, and we go to Fostoria. And, you know, because a lot of the local schools in N10, like Pearl Crawford, Whitford, and Buckeye Central, they don't have tennis. So
the only other league team is Upper Sandusky.
Upper Sandusky has tennis, and that. So yeah, it's one of the parts of you know, since I've been here, that's the way it's been, and you know, and that's okay. Again, like I said, but to get back to your point, yeah, we are proud of hosting both the Jim Grandy and the Sam Sabak tournament here at Bucyrus, and a lot of the schools that play in that, I get positive feedback every year.
Sure.
They love playing in it, and if the weather holds out, that's a key.
Yeah, if it's a good day, it's usually a good crowd.
It's a good crowd, and kids like it, and it's a fun day of tennis.
Okay. Well, we're going to acknowledge a couple of our sponsors again. Blythe Freely and Todd McDougall at Freely and Company Insurance, New Washington. Ted Coder at Monarch Body Shop in New Washington. The Ohio State University at Marion, a Big Ten education close to home. And Dwayne McCombs at Poet Grain, northwest of Marion. So, numbers-wise, how are you numbers-wise? You got a good complement this year, or a lot of returners?
It's still a little early to tell. Right now, we're around 10 players, which is up from the last few years.
Okay.
We've been hovering around 7, 8 players, and so this year we're up around 10 players, and 3 of which are girls.
Oh, okay.
Who are allowed to play in the spring if they didn't play fall tennis.
Okay.
And the 3 girls are all played volleyball, so they're allowed to play tennis this spring. So right now I'm sitting around 10 players. I have 5 returning lettermen.
Okay.
Jay Cam is back for his 4th year as the first singles player. And then my first doubles will be senior Carson Kalb and Cam Wolf.
Okay.
They're set at first doubles. They played last year together, and towards the end of the year they were playing some of the best doubles tennis of the year for us, and you know, and so they're real enthusiastic and like playing together. And then my second doubles, I have Maddie Kimmel playing there, and then I'm looking for a partner for her.
Oh, okay.
And then that'll be something we'll work on here in the next few weeks. And who's a returning letter winner, and you know, a 3-sport athlete, you know, real solid competitor.
Yeah.
And then at second singles right now, I have back from last year. He played third singles most of the year, was Chris Wicker.
Okay.
And Chris is a junior, and showed a lot of improvement last year. Didn't play tennis before last year. And we worked with him all season. He got kind of pushed into third singles for a number of situations, but he retired last summer, played quite a bit, and put a lot of time in on the courts. And he's probably going to be my second singles player. So right now I'm looking at a third singles and a second doubles partner for Maddie, but I got 5 people to choose from right now, and
Sure.
so we'll see how that goes. And if we have to rotate them in and out, that's fine too. The first week of the season, we open up with 3 matches.
Wow.
If we can get them in, of course, that we opened up
Right.
with River Valley at home,
Mhm.
and then we go to Madison, and then we have Clear Fork at Lexington's courts,
Okay.
because Clear Fork doesn't have courts.
Okay.
So we open up, they play it down at Lexington and use their courts. So,
Okay, that's indoor, correct?
well, no, they got outdoor courts
they
at the
do?
high school there,
Okay.
yeah, and so we're gonna play down at Lexington. So the first week we have 3 matches, so that's gonna give us a good indication of what kind of team we're gonna have this season.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of get your baptism under fire right away, huh?
Right.
Okay.
That's
good.
correct.
All right. We want to remind you finally that we're brought to you in part by Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, Marion, Dr. Thomas M. Britton at Clubview Vision Center in Bucyrus, Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, and Luann Krebs at Rivers Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing, and Signs in Marion. So, Coach, you're probably ready to go. I mean, you're 2 weeks away, but you kind of get the juices flowing now that winter sports are over.
Yeah, I would really be juiced up if it was 60 and sunny out, but
That'd help,
anyway,
yeah.
I've been at this long enough, Dan, and I know that the Mother Nature is undefeated, so
Yes.
there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, I'm excited. I have really 4 good seniors this year. They're good kids. They're enthusiastic. They're fun to coach, and that's why I'm back doing this. And I'm looking forward to having them this year, and they're great kids, and I'm getting to know the other kids that just came out for the first time. I got 5 new players this year, so I really haven't had a chance to get to know them yet.
Sure.
And so I'm looking forward to getting to know them with the leadership I have and some of the new kids, their enthusiasm to get better and that. It's fun, and I have a great assistant coach in Raven McDaniels, who played at Guyan for 4 years.
Okay.
Was their #1 player for 3 years at Guyan. Was an excellent player. She played during the Macy Shear era here at Bucyrus, and her and Macy used to duke it out on the court a lot and played, and she's been an excellent help to me. And then Coach Nodell, the girls' coach, has helped me out too several times, and and I lean on him a lot for advice and that. So between Coach McDaniel, Coach Nodell, and myself, we're really looking forward to this season, and maybe making a little noise this year in the area.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, and I know you sent me results of your matches and that, and I think, wow, again, I look at it like a small school competing against just about everybody. In fact, probably everybody on your schedule is bigger.
Well, it's funny, we lost a lot of matches last year, 3-2. I mean, we were right in a lot, and again, our third singles, Chris Wicker had never played before, and so he was thrown into a tough situation, and that was kind of like, as much as he tried and everything, he just didn't have the experience, and so we were kind of down 1-0
Yeah.
going into the next 4 matches. So, I think there was only a couple matches where we were overwhelmed by a team that was like Tiffin Columbian was much better than us.
Sure.
And yeah, so, but other matches, I thought we competed very well, and this year, I think, maybe we could throw some of those 3-2 matches in our favor.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
And it gets you prepared for the sectionals that way too.
Yeah, and our sectional is one of the toughest I think it's the toughest in the Northwest District.
Wow.
Lexington is really good every year, and Shelby's really good every year, and
Yeah, you got thrown in with the bigger schools because there just aren't that many small schools.
And like I said, we're the smallest school, Mansfield Senior, Madison, I mean, Edison, I mean, they're all in that, Upper Sandusky, I mean, Clearfork.
Sure.
You know, so, you know, we're the small school and that, and again, you know, I tell the kids, nobody's gonna have a pity party for
No,
you.
that's right.
So
No.
you just go out and play and, let the cards fall.
Yeah, that's what you can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time out tonight. I know you're getting ready for the season and taking some time to talk about your team and promote it. And we'll be looking for some big things this year.
Well, thanks, Dan, and thanks to Pizza Hut also, and, for being a sponsor all these years of high school athletics, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, okay. Coach John Supon of the Bucyrus Tennis Program, and we appreciate all of you viewing the 4 segments tonight, and so we're looking forward to next season. This is our last Coach's Corner West. There's one more Wednesday from the east side, and after that, we'll be heading into spring sports and into the summer break. So we appreciate your viewership and all of our sponsors, and we'll look forward to talking to you next season.